Well, the Jets season has 4 more weeks before all the craziness begins and the happiest time of a Jets fan begins, otherwise known as the offseason. So we're going to talk about that. We will talk a little bit about 5 players I want to see get more playing time the rest of the year, and 5 players I would like to see get less playing time the rest of the year. We'll break down the Tankathon standings, and we'll talk about what else is going on in the world of New York sports. So let's get into it right now. Guys, you know what's up. It's Wednesday night. It is 6 p.m., and we are live. Welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for joining me for the Wednesday Night Live extravaganza. And it is the 11th of December, the year 2024. And I got a few things to say. And tonight I'm going to say them because that's what I do. I give it to you straight. I tell you exactly how I'm feeling. At the risk of even being a little controversial at times, but you know what? That's the only way I know how to do it. It's the only way I ever will do it. So we're going to get into all of that in just a few minutes with the Jets. But first of all, let's talk about what's on my mind with a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. So I'm going to spend about 30 seconds on hockey, and that is it. Last night, New Jersey loses to Toronto in overtime. The Islanders lose 3-1 to the Kings. The Rangers remain a freaking train wreck. Losers of 8 of their last 10. Tonight they play Buffalo, who have lost 7 straight. To give you a football explanation of that, it's the equivalent of the Jets and the Jaguars. Move on. On to topic number 2, the New York Knicks. They escaped Toronto the other night, 113-108. The bench did the damage. The Toronto players, they had some pretty good starters in there, R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes. But Toronto brought in their bench. They used 4 bench players. And if you look at the point differential at the plus minus, those 4 players went combined minus 15, minus 15, minus 17, and minus 10. All right. So the Knicks bench schooled the Toronto bench. But Karl Anthony Towns, 24 points, 15 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 20 points, 11 assists. OG Anunoby returning to Toronto, 14 points back. And you know what? Good on RJ Barrett. You know, the Knicks traded him for Anunoby, had a game high 30 points. 13 of 24 shooting, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. You know, was always a good kid, never had any ill will towards him, just never became what we wanted him to become as Knicks fans. I really think it was a win for both teams, that trade, the Anunoby for Barrett trade. Now, the Knicks defense still getting a lot of criticism, but they are 10th in points per game allowed, 111. They've won 5 of 6, but here's what I like, and this is another reason why I support Tom Thibodeau as head coach. The Knicks have had only 1 multi-game losing streak this year, and it was 2 games. After they lose, they're 8-1. All right, so he is not allowing those losses to fester, unlike other coaches in this town who I could obviously name. And tonight they got the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup at the Garden, hosting our old friends, the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, right, F. Trae Young. He will be there. And if the Knicks win this game, they get Milwaukee in the semifinals in Vegas. So after that, after we're done tonight, you can tune into that on ESPN. All right, let's get into a little bit of baseball for number 3. Yankees signed Max Fried, so I put the Yankee Stadium background up here. I think $27 million a year is very reasonable for an average annual value, but 8 years for a 30-year-old pitcher, I don't know. Now, I'm very happy as a Mets fan that he is out of the NL East, that he is away from the Braves. Yankees got a pitcher who can go deep into games, pitched 2 complete games last year. And the Yankees got a super deep rotation right now. Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Gil, Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez, Marcus Stroman. I would expect them to use a little bit of that depth and package it maybe to get some lineup help, because right now, in my mind, the Yankees are very short on bullpen and on bats. Outside of Aaron Judge, who do you really fear in that lineup? You can tell me Giancarlo Stanton, but he misses, at least a third of the year every season, and he's not getting any younger. Yankees need a left-handed bat somewhere to balance out Judge and Stanton. And as far as the Mets go, well, they're going to be announcing the Juan Soto trade with a press conference on Thursday. I believe it's going to be 3 p.m. I think that's where it is. They need some rotation help. Max Fried, Blake Snell, Nathan Eovaldi, they are all off the market. They're not interested in Corbin Burns. Garrett Crochet is now a Boston Red Sox, which makes sense. I mean, the Red Sox just had a lot more prospects to trade than the Mets did. It cost the Red Sox 4 prospects of their top 15 prospects to make that trade happen. So where do the Mets go? Well, there's a number of ways. Roki Sasaki, the Japanese phenom, it's a complete toss-up, but he can't be signed till January 15th. You can't count on him. If he comes in, that's great, but you can't expect it. Walker Buehler and Sean Manaea, those are the two I would target. On the lower tier, Jack Flaherty, Kyle Gibson, Andrew Haney. So that's where I would go. But the way these pitchers are getting paid, I was hoping Manaea might get 3 years, $60 million. He's going to get 100, I think maybe 110 easily at this point. All right, so I'm just going to talk about the pitching. I think Pete Alonso, from what I hear, he is not going to get pursued by the Yankees as of right now. According to Scott Boras, his free agency is picking up, so later this week I expect some resolution there. But I think ultimately he wants to go back to the Mets, and the Mets want him back. I do expect it to finish that way. Okay, so I think with that in mind, let's get rid of the 3 and out. And guys, I've already got the green background, so let's change the background right now, guys. And by the way, for everybody in the chat, feel free to drop a comment, say hello. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. So it's time to get into our favorite topic. Let's talk some New York Jets. Yet at the same time, it is the New York Jets. So you know what? What else can I say
this is the New York Jets, where careers come to die and the worst memories of your life are born.
The worst memories of your life are born. And it's just one more loss this past week, this time to the Miami Dolphins. And I want to tell you just a little bit about my Sunday. So I was in Norfolk, back in Virginia, where I lived for 7 years. I saw my old group, the Virginia Jets fans. I was president of that group for quite a while. And it was great to see some old friends. I even got to lead the touchdown chant twice. I mean, who knew if we were even going to get to do it? But we did. But it's just the latest blown lead in the fourth quarter. I think that's 5 fourth-quarter leads that the Jets have blown this year. And when Miami got the ball in overtime, when they won the toss, the game felt like it was over, and it was. I mean, why Miami waited to throw the ball to Jonnu Smith, why they waited until overtime to get him involved, I don't know. But he destroyed them. 3 receptions, including the game-winning touchdown. A couple quick positives and negatives from that game. I'm glad that the Jets were at least competitive. A lot of people thought they were going to get dominated. That didn't happen, but they still found a way to lose. So, in a way, it's kind of the best of both worlds. Aaron Rodgers hits 300 passing yards, both big wide receivers, Wilson and Adams, over 100 yards. I thought the run defense was a pleasant surprise. They held Miami to just 44 yards rushing. With A-Chain, right, even Tua could run once in a while if he needs to. But the Jets' run defense did a very good job. Jamian Sherwood, 13 solo tackles, 18 tackles total, 2 for a loss. Anders Carlson made all his kicks. Looks like the Jets found a good one with him. And no turnovers. One of the predictions I made for that game is you wouldn't see any turnovers, and that is exactly what happened between both teams. So that was one prediction I got right. I got a lot else wrong, though. Now, with the negatives, a couple things. 10 penalties this team had. The Jets had 10 penalties. That's just not going to fly, okay? They are now, I think, the second most penalized team in the NFL, and I just don't think they ran the ball enough. 21 runs, 39 passes, and you think about the final drive that they had with a chance to put the game away. They've got the ball on the Miami 27. It's first down. Miami has just 2 timeouts left. Run the ball with Braylon is what I'm thinking. Instead, they give the ball to Isaiah Davis, and Isaiah showed you some stuff, but he gets knocked back for a loss of 5. One thing Braylon Allen could do is create yards after contact. More on that later. But instead, they give to Isaiah Davis. I didn't understand that at all. Then you get a sack for 6 yards. Now it's third down. And then on third down, Aaron Rodgers throws to Davante Adams for a gain of 14. Now, Rodgers did change that play. That was supposed to be a draw. He noticed something in the Miami defense, and he decided to make a change. Okay, so good job by Rodgers. The pass was complete. Of course, Adams goes out of bounds, which was a major mistake. Miami got to save a timeout, and the rest is history in that game. I did not like them benching Malachi Corley whatsoever in this game. What is the point of benching this kid? I don't understand it. Just because Alan Lazard comes back doesn't mean Corley is the one who should be benched. More on that later as well. Jeremy Ruckert, just another ridiculous drop. I mean, come on. Is there any Jet fan who wants to see him in the lineup outside of his family? And the pass rush was a complete disappointment. No quarterback hits by the Jet defense, despite Tua throwing 47 times in this game. 47 times and not one hit, let alone a sack. Hassan Reddick, 1 pressure in 30 pass rush snaps. For the year, in 6 games, he has half a sack and 1 quarterback hit. Yeah, I can't wait to see how he does in free agency this offseason, because the way he's playing right now, he may have to sign another 1-year prove-it deal. And DJ Reed, he didn't do too well. 2 pass interferences with Sauce out. DJ had a little bit more pressure on him. 2 pass interferences. 1 was a little bit debatable, but still, 2 DPIs, not so good for number 4. A couple quick hellos. You got Dane O. Yeah, Lazard didn't have a catch in like 3.5 quarters. Yeah, I felt like Lazard outside of the penalty was invisible until kind of in the 4th quarter. Yep. Hey, Tony Alexio, how you doing as well? I see we got some other people in the chat right now. Looks like the numbers are climbing, so I'm very happy about that. All right, let's take a look at let's blow it up. So that's the recap. Let's go to the snap counts. I'm going to blow that up a little bit. Okay, so every week we break it down, how many snaps each Jet got, and compare it to last week, trying to get a feel for who's getting the playing time and who isn't. And that's also going to be a major theme on tonight's show. So Aaron Rodgers played all 68 snaps that the offense had. Those 68 snaps were the same as they had in the last game. Breece Hall did not play in this game, so down 42 snaps. Braylon Allen played almost half the game, 37 snaps, up 18 from the last week. Isaiah Davis played 36, up 24, by far the biggest output of his young career. And Kene played only 1 snap on offense in this game. We came to find out he had a hand injury. Maybe that had something to do with him not playing all that much. All right, so then wide receiver, Garrett Wilson played all but 1 snap. Davante Adams played 58. He missed 10 snaps in this game. Alan Lazard played 53, his first game back from injured reserve with the mystery sternum, shoulder, chest injury. The injury, we don't really know what happened. Then Xavier Gibson gets 1 whole snap on offense. 1 snap. Very exciting. He had 19 in the game against Indy. And Malachi Corley, he took the hit. Had 41 snaps against Indy, although granted you may not know it on the field. He's the one who took the fall for Alan Lazard's return. Inactive for this game. And then you go to tight end. This just wonderful position group. Tyler Conklin, 54 snaps. Jeremy Ruckert got 20, up 3 from last week. Kenny Aboa got a little bit of an increase. He had 1 snap against Indy, had 12 snaps against the Fish. And then with the offensive line, Tippmann, Simpson, Barrett Tucker, and Fashanu all with 68. Morgan Moses tried to play. He got hurt, wrist injury, and warm-ups, played 33 snaps. But Wes Schweitzer played 1, came in for an extra snap. And Max Mitchell got the bulk of his time at right tackle. So Carter Warren pushed to the side. Max Mitchell gets the opportunity at right tackle. So that's what we're looking at with the offense. Now on to the defense. Well, they had 72 snaps, up 8 from the week against Indianapolis. And surprisingly, Will McDonald had more snaps than any defensive lineman. He had 60 in this game. I felt pretty good he would have a better game. And, that was against Indy. He had a better game. Yeah, I didn't think the Jets would have a great pass rushing day, and I don't think anybody did. Quinn Williams had 57 snaps, up 11 from the last game. Javon Kinlaw, 48 snaps, down 2. And then Hassan Reddick, 53 snaps, up 10. Michael Clemens, big drop there. Michael Clemens had only 32. That was up 2 snaps. Solomon Thomas, 26. Eric Watts, 16. And Leonard Taylor just 13, went down from 19 snaps down to 13. Meanwhile, Solomon Thomas gets a little bit extra playing time. At linebacker, Quincy Williams, 71, up 7, missed only 1 snap. Jamian Sherwood missed only 1 snap as well, played a fantastic game. Chaz Surratt played 6 snaps. That was down 10 from the prior game. And then at cornerback, here's where it gets crazy. Brandon Eccles played 72 snaps, up 70 from the last game. DJ Reed plays the whole game. Isaiah Oliver gets 22 snaps. Michael Carter II, only 12. You think about last year, Michael Carter played and played and played. You could tell he's really like the definition of load management. He has not been right all year. Even though I don't really have him on my list, this is somebody I would not mind them sitting out for the rest of the year because I just don't think he's right. Only 12 snaps in this game against the Miami Dolphins, who are known for passing the ball. Quanta Stiggers didn't play in this game, and Sauce Gardner did not play in this game either. And then at safety, again, it was more of a mishmash. Chuck Clark played 58 snaps, a team high. Jalen Mills, 49. Tony Adams, 37. And Ashton Davis got some time back in the lineup. He played 17 snaps. So, yeah, really those first 3 get the bulk of it. And then Ashton Davis is kind of like pulling up the rear when they go to the 3 safety look. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting there. All right, let's get out of that. All right, and I see Sharon McLean is here as well. Sharon, I'm glad that you made it tonight. We're going to get it together and play a complete game one day. Might need to use a calendar to find out when that's going to be. I will say this, though. I do have a good amount of confidence in the result this coming Sunday. I will just leave it at that for right now. Some people may not be happy about that, but I got a very good feeling the Jets are going to beat the pants off Jacksonville. Dane, if we ran back the offense for the most part, and devoted much resources to fixing defense and special teams, do you think we're a playoff team next year? Who's the coach, Dane? I think we have a top 10 talented roster in the NFL right now. In my opinion, I really believe that. But our coaches have completely blown it. Preparation, discipline, all of that. Rodgers getting hurt, big factor. But Breece Hall didn't have these issues fumbling the ball the last 2 years. Now he does with the new running backs coach. I think you have to renegotiate Adam's deal. You need a tight end. That is one thing you absolutely have to get. We can get into team needs, but the tight end room needs to be absolutely revamped. I don't know if they're going to keep Morgan Moses. That's a tricky one because we love his toughness, we love his leadership, but now he's starting to deal with some injuries. I think that's one of the toughest decisions is going to be Morgan Moses. And as far as fixing the defense goes, well, you need a run stuffer up the middle. You need another defensive tackle to play the bulk of the snaps along Quinton. But you know what? With a new defensive staff coming in, they may decide to play them 80, 90% of the snaps. You might see that. It might be a whole new defensive philosophy here. But that's why like a Mason Graham from Michigan is very appealing to me with that first pick in the draft. So, but outside of that, how much do you really need to fix? I mean, if your safeties are a little bit subpar, you can live with that. Jermaine Johnson, you got to hope he comes back from the Achilles. Reddick, I don't expect him back. But if you're bringing, say, 2 defensive linemen, keep Sherwood, resign Sherwood. DJ, I think, is probably going to leave, so they might need to do something at cornerback. But you have the foundation of very good defense in place anyway. Morstead has another year at punter. And a kicker, you make a decision. But, we've seen – it's a complete crapshoot with these kickers. Schrader was okay. Zerline was horrible. And Anders Carlson's been automatic. I'd sign Carlson. Why wouldn't I? And this Kene Nwangwu, he looks like a pretty decent kick returner as well. God knows we don't need Xavier Gibson. So I don't think we need to devote many resources into special teams at all, really. But, there's a few holes to fill. There's a few holes. But there's a difference between filling holes that are going to be starters versus depth. That's the big difference. And when it comes to the main positions, I really think that the Jets are pretty dang good. They got good starters at wide receiver, at quarterback, at least one. Edge, that's a tricky one. You've got Will, you've got Jermaine coming back, so it's a little bit of a question mark. I don't expect Reddick back, but you still do have Quinn in there. You have Quincy at linebacker. But I really hope they do something about tight end and shoring up the defensive line. I can't watch this team get run on again. So, but running back to me looks great. At least 4/5 of the offensive line looks really good. So there's stuff to be excited about, but there are some very major decisions to make. Yeah. Justin Tucker. Yeah, you later said he's off. Yeah, it's amazing. Justin Tucker has been brutal this year. Absolutely brutal. You just can't predict what's going to happen. Yet I don't hear people screaming at the Baltimore front office to get rid of him. I know he's probably the best to ever do it, but it's a fine line. How much patience do you give a player, especially a kicker? So it's a tough one. All right, so let's talk a little bit of the news of the week in Jetsland, and we got a few things to talk about here. So the 30 for 30 premieres Friday night, 8 p.m. on ESPN, all about the New York Sack Exchange, Coleco, Lions, the late Abdul Salam, and of course, Mark Gastineau, Joe and Marty. And of course, ESPN knows that this is a very limited audience. Let's be honest. Does your average sports fan want to watch a documentary that's an hour, 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, about this group of players? I'm sorry. There's some good stories. We know the stories, but they don't know the stories. This team never got to a Super Bowl. So a lot of people are going to think, what's the big deal? So they need to have a reason to make sure that non-Jets fans tune into this. So what do? They highlight the rip between Brett Favre and Mark Gastineau and the sack record being broken by Michael Strahan. So the video comes out this week, shockingly, that this confrontation at the signing event or whatever it was at the card show, that there's a bit of a discrepancy because Gastineau can't call himself the sack king anymore. That takes money out of his pocket and all this kind of stuff. It just looks very, very petty. But they needed some kind of storyline to draw people in, and they figured, let's go after Brett Favre. That'll be a way to get the people to tune in. That's what I think it really is. I think they're making more out of it than what it really is. I hope there's a lot more to get out of it than just that. As we get the plug, we got to plug the computer back in. There we go. All right, now we're charging up. All right, so that's my thoughts. I will probably be recording that because I do have some plans on Friday, so I'll watch it probably late Friday night. I will watch that documentary. All right, there it is. Yeah, Henry Anderson. Yes, Henry Anderson, the former great Jets defensive end, at least for 1 year, he was pretty dang good. He retired today at the age of 33. Now I know your obvious question: when did he retire from? When was the last time he played? Last time he played in the NFL was 2022, but he had 3 years with the Jets, 7 sacks in 2018 in his first year with the team. It looked like a good acquisition by Mike McCagnon, and for 1 year it was. But then the next year he signs a 3-year, $25.2 million deal, and in the next 2 years with the Jets, he has a grand total of 1.5 sacks. He also played for Indianapolis. Then after the Jets, he goes to New England and to Carolina. Now he's on to the next stage in his life. So to Henry Anderson, we thank you for your time. But Henry, we have a tradition on the show, and we got 2 words for you. Be gone! Henry Anderson, be gone! So all the best to him going forward. And as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, he pretty much confirmed what we already knew. And this is also what a lot of people didn't want to admit just because they hate the man personally. Certain bigwigs in the national media, especially, grade 2 hamstring strain, which is really a tear, an MCL sprain, and a high ankle sprain. We knew he wasn't right ever since the Denver game when they beat the hell out of him in that game. Thank you, Tyron Smith. We appreciate it. Now, Rodgers tried to deny it. He said, how do they know it's a tear if there hasn't been a scan done? And bless him, he's doing what he can because he doesn't want to sit out. He wants to be tough. He wants to be durable. But there's no doubt he's been hampered pretty much this whole season, ever since the Denver game. So, again, it confirmed what most of us already knew. And to the people who say he's washed, I would just point to that. So, the great Johnny Jimenez is here. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you this past Sunday, my friend, but I'm guessing you had some business to do with the wife that you can't tell the rest of us about. Soto will wear 22. Okay. Yeah. So Brett Beatty and Jose Siri have agreed to give it up. Nate is here for Juan Soto talk only, not the bum ass Jets. Well, I did do another one. I did do a Juan Soto video the other night. So you can definitely check that video out. But I am very, very happy about it. I'm very, very excited. I will say this. when you don't have to deal with a salary cap, to me, there's hardly such a thing as an overpayment in baseball. Baseball is unique, unlike any other sport, you don't have to worry about a percentage of the cap. It's just these luxury tax thresholds. When the talent is that good, you do what you have to do to get him in the building. And Steve Cohen did that. Maybe David Stearns helped out too. I don't know. But I am very, very happy that he will be there. Let's see. Josh Hart is playing tonight. All right. Any other news? Oh boy. Yep, there we go. Yep. I wonder why it took the Mets so long to officially announce. I guess Soto had to pass the physical, but again, the press conference will be 3 p.m. Thursday. I may have to take my lunch break. I work 8 to 5, but I may take a 3 o'clock lunch just to watch that press conference. I don't think Beatty had a choice. It was part of his contract and the suite that the Yankees wouldn't give him. Yeah, Castro's probably going to deny that. But, yeah, if it comes down to a suite, then, hey, what are you going to do? Roger, that was bullshit. 99 is the real sack leader. That faux sack kept 99 out of the Hall of Fame. I think it was just his personality, the fact that he danced and that he left the NFL so abruptly. I think that had a lot to do with it. But it's not too late. Maybe this documentary helps revive a little bit of interest in Mark Gastineau. But I'm just worried he's going to come across on this documentary as very whiny, as very much of a complainer. So I think that's what I'm going to be watching the most is how much how do they portray Mark Gastineau? Because every good story needs a villain, right? Just about everyone. Marty Lyons is anything but. Marty Lyons, he has this foundation, did the radio announcing for all those years, now an ambassador. Can't say anything bad about him. Joe Klecko, tough SOB, came up as a 6th-round pick, worked his way to become a Pro Bowler in 3 positions, made the Hall of Fame, great story. Abdul Salam was the first one there, recently passed away, the most under-the-radar guy. You can't really knock any of those guys, but the one guy that you can dislike is Mark Gastineau, and the average football fan might do that. So let's see how he's portrayed. That's right, Tony. He's our legend. That's right. He's our legend. All right. So then a couple of, before I get to the injury updates, there was a mock draft done, and I don't like to do mocks, by the way, this early. I got to at least wait till we have a draft order in place. Okay. If I was to do a mock draft now, confession, here's how we'd be picking them. The draft positions that we need and whose name sounds the coolest, Of course, Rusty Spooner would give us a little bit of help there because Rusty knows Rusty's got his diamonds. As I see, we got the great Rusty Spooner here. I'm glad to see it, my friend. Rusty, Garrett Crochet. All right, so Garrett Crochet, number 1, was traded. He was not a free agent, and Boston got him today. So Garrett Crochet is not an option. And again, like we said earlier, I said this at the top of the show, the Red Sox traded 4 top 15 prospects to get him. So I don't mind it. Now, with Sasaki, you can't sign him till January 15th. That's a bonus. But to me, you got to bring in either Minaya or Walker Buehler, one of the two. I'm not interested in Corbin Burns. I don't think the Mets are interested in Corbin Burns. If Max Fried got 8 years, Burns is probably going to get 7 or 8 as well. And I'm not giving that to a guy whose velocity has diminished and his strikeout rate has diminished the last 2 years. I don't trust it. So give me Buehler or Minaya. That's what I'm thinking right now. If he gets Sasaki, and then maybe another lower level guy like an Andrew Haney or a Jack Flaherty, that type of a guy. Nick Pivetta, I'm a little bit worried about because if you get him, you're losing 2 more draft picks. And now it's getting to be a little bit too much. Okay. So if they get Minaya or Buehler, I'm happy. I'm happy with the rotation. Okay, but in the mock done by Field Yates, he had the Jets drafting Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan, with the number 6 spot. All right, which I would be very happy about. But to me, the 3 main positions where the Jets really need help, I'm not saying these are the most important positions on the field, but next year I need some new starters at defensive tackle, tight end, and safety. Okay, I need to see that. They could use depth at things like wide receiver, offensive tackle, even linebacker, because I don't expect CJ to play here ever again. Cornerback, because I think DJ is probably going to go. And quarterback is really the big question. But I can't listen to any report that says the Jets are definitely going to cut ties with Aaron Rodgers after the season. We don't have a general manager in place. Can we stop? God, we're so – see, this is what happens every year. And this is one of the reasons I'm not a journalist anymore, guys. It's the same cycle. You figure out who the best players are for the free agency and the draft. And then like a week or 2 weeks before everything starts, everybody comes out with all these crazy takes. It's like, oh, this guy, he may not be so good. Patrick Mahomes might be a bust. You know, all this type of stuff. Because everybody's got to get attention. Everybody's got to be different. Everybody's got to get clickbait. That's what it's all about. But when we don't have a general manager, a front office in place, who knows what they're going to do? Now, there might be a chasm right now between Aaron Rodgers and Woody Johnson. And if there is, that's fine. I understand it. But it should be up to Woody if Aaron Rodgers stays or goes. So Rusty wants to trade back. It depends how it goes. You know, I really don't have enough to tell you right now if they should or should not. But over time, we will form that opinion. Tony wants to resign Eccles and Sherwood. You know what? I would be game with that, especially if Reed goes. Yeah, I would like to keep Eccles because he is a playmaker. And the Jets don't exactly have a lot of players who are. Still, only 2 interceptions all year by this defense. Can you believe that? You think if Brian Flores or Mike Vrabel or, yes, I'm going to say it, Rex Ryan was here, you think this team would have 2 interceptions on defense? No way. No freaking way. Swig of water for the working man and woman. A couple of injuries here. I'll give you some updates there. So Breece Hall at this point, we're pretty unsure on him. He's struggling with his knee injury, according to Jeff Ulbrich. Not sure if he's going to play. I'll talk about him more in a minute. Sauce, good to go. Back in the lineup. Hopefully he will spend a lot of time covering Brian Thomas of the Jaguars. To me, if you take him out of the equation, you have pretty much eliminated their entire passing offense, especially with Evan Ingram not passing. Christian Kirk hurt, and Gabe Davis hurt as well. Elijah Vera-Tucker did not practice with an ankle injury, but he is expected to play. Morgan Moses was limited. Kene Nwangwu had his hand evaluated. He is to be announced. And really unfortunate news that Charles tore his ACL. He was emerging as a very, very good special teams player. The Jets have now lost him for the season. So hopefully his rehab goes well, and he will be ready to play by next August. Okay, so now let's get into the main content tonight. So we're going to talk tonight about 10 Jets that I want to see more of and less of in the final 4 games. So 5 I want to see more, 5 I want to see less, 10 Jets total. Oh, here comes Rusty dropping his little draft nuggets again. Check out Walker from Kentucky, Luke Lachey from Iowa, Jack Sawyer, linebacker edge Ohio State. He's like TJ Watt. And the safety Catalan from UNLV. All right. Well, we will definitely keep that in mind. I'm going to have to refer to the chat later because I can't copy the text. But, yeah, once the season ends, I will begin doing some heavy research on the draft, watching videos, stuff like that. But let's be honest. We got, 4 or 5 months till the draft? We've got forever to break it down. all the time in the world. We'll break it down by position, just like last year. I'll give you positives, negatives, just like we did last year. Because I had a lot of fun doing that. And we'll definitely do more of it again this year. Okay, so 10 Jets that we're going to break down here. Now, first I'm going to talk about the wide receiver position. One player I want to see less of is Xavier Gibson. Last week, as I just said, he had 1 snap on offense. And let's be honest, guys, he's useless in the return game. He's been replaced by Kene. And when he does play offense, well, he has 6 catches on 10 targets all year long, 39 yards and 1 touchdown. I think he's made 1 very nice play this season. But are you telling me that if Malachi Corley, had a decent amount of play time, if he had the same snaps Xavier Gibson had, are you telling me he wouldn't have superseded those numbers? 6 catches, 10 targets, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. Please, I don't need to see Xavier Gibson again on this team. I'm sure Kansas City can find a way to make him successful, but he's useless here. So instead, I want to see Malachi Corley play. If you've been with me for a while, you know I've been beating the drum for this kid even before the Jets drafted him. And for some reason, this brilliant coaching staff thinks that he needs to sit just because Alan Lazard is back. The same Alan Lazard, by the way, who won't be here next year in all likelihood. The Jets had him as a top 4 wide receiver on their draft board. How will he get there if they don't play him and give him some reps? Even if he is the number 4 receiver behind Lazard, even if he gets just 10 to 15 snaps a game, that's better than 0. It's better than deactivating him. There is no justification to play Xavier Gibson over this kid. None whatsoever. All right, so then the next position I'm going to talk about is tight end. Jeremy Ruckert, bye. Enough of this guy. You have been as useful on this team as your father has. Your father is a more popular Ruckert than you are. He's got 282 snaps this year. That's about 34% of the offensive snaps Ruckert's on the field. All right, 282 snaps. He has 14 catches on 21 targets, 76 yards, 5 yards of reception. He has never, I literally went back and researched this, okay? In the 3 years he has played, he has not been credited with breaking 1 tackle ever. Not one. This is not hyperbole. It's fact. And to make it even worse, his drop rate. Remember, he had another just beautiful drop. He committed a Ruckert, basically. Every time I see the Jets drop a pass, I'm calling it a Ruckert. Rodgers threw a great pass to Wilson, but sadly, man, it was a Ruckert as he was falling to the ground. And we'll all know what we're talking about. For his career, Jeremy Ruckert's drop rate is 8.9%. That's almost 10%, almost 1 out of 10 passes thrown his way, he drops. If he can do anything, he's decent blocking when he's lined up in that that fullback position. But he can't block on the line. He isn't wired. He can't move. He has very little agility. He has nothing. Just frustrating. Antoine Staley says, Rusty, if you like my emails in there, email me the names if you could do that. I'd appreciate that. Just shoot me an email because I can't get it that way. I can't just copy and paste the names. So if you could shoot me an email with the names, that'd be great. Thanks, man. Antoine Staley. I like Antoine Staley is a good beat writer. He actually replies to you on Twitter sometimes. Unlike, Samiti, Costello, Hughes has like 3 guys he responds to. That's pretty much it. Yeah, but Antoine will actually reply. He hasn't gotten to Rosenblatt. Forget about it. Less people will fail to understand why Gaston was in the Hall of Fame once they watch the document. Well, I'm the documentary. I'm encouraged about that. I'll be very, very interested to see how it goes. I predict how I think it's going to finish, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to give you my spoilers. But I have a very good idea where the documentary ends. Ruckert sucks, and I'm the Ohio State Buckeye. You're a fan of Ohio State. Okay. Never liked him. I was on record saying Otten was the guy to get. That would have worked pretty well. Otten may not be a number 1 tight end, but, when some of the other weapons in Tampa Bay are hurt, they go to him, and he usually produces. Wow. Dane coming in hot. I've wanted Gibson off returns for so long. My distaste for him has evolved to hatred. I almost feel about him like I did with, Jeremy Curley. Not that I hated Jeremy Curley. He was an okay receiver. You just knew it was going to be a fair catch every time. Where's the guy who can make an impact like Malik Washington did at the end when he ran the ball 45 yards? Although if Irv Charles wasn't hurt, I seriously doubt that would have happened on that play. I'm just saying there. All right, so instead of Jeremy Ruckert, let's see. Johnny, if you're there, I'm sorry. I can't go with Kuntz. I'm not ready. I just can't do that. Kuntz will be gone after this year. I want to see more Kenny Yeboah. He's played 26 snaps this year after missing the first 2 months. Now, no one is saying he's the solution at tight end, except a certain bearded gentleman in Virginia who wants to become Jets general manager. But he has 3 catches on the 3 targets he's had, 27 yards, 2 first downs, and a touchdown. I think that's pretty damn efficient, wouldn't you say? It's pretty good. I know he had a dumb penalty last week, a dumb 5-yard penalty. I get it. But let me see some more of Yeboah. Just to see. Maybe he's a piece that could still be used next year for depth. I don't expect Conklin to be here much longer. And Ruckert, forget about it. Rusty, thank you very much for clearing that up, because I'm like, what the hell do we need another Leon Johnson for? The guy who throws interceptions when he gets the halfback option? Yeah, I did not like Leon Johnson at all. Green Bean's brother, Kenny Bo, is his favorite Jet. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I know. I was like on a show all the time when he kept hyping up Yeboah. You know, we thought he'd go 4th round. Jets signed him as a UDFA. It was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing. At running back, now, I don't want, before I pull this next slide up, I don't want anybody to overreact, okay? But Breece Hall, I don't need to see him again this year, okay? 164 carries, 692 yards. If you told me Breece Hall would have 692 yards at this point in the year, I'd be convinced he was hurt. 4 touchdowns only. But this is even more bothersome. He's had only 3 runs of 20 yards or more. The big plays have not been there like they were the last 2 seasons. Now, the line gets some blame for sure, to be sure. They're a very good pass blocking line, but they are not good blocking for the run. Breece Hall is getting only 2.0 yards before he gets contact. Okay? 2 yards, and boom, there's a defender right in his face. But he's broken only 6 tackles all season, and now his knee is bad. I don't need to see him the rest of the season, because what is it accomplishing? Now, I'm not going to pile on like some other Jet fans have been and say he should go, that he shouldn't get paid, although somebody is going to have to not get paid. That's an argument for another day if Breece Hall should get, a big contract. But 6 fumbles this year is an issue. And here's another issue nobody talks about. He's had 7 drop passes this year. It's not just a fumbling issue. Maybe he needs to buy a new brand of gloves. I don't know what it is. But 13 fumbles/drops this season. That's inexcusable. And I just think he needs to be coached better. Jets have a new running back coach. I don't know what else it could be. How do you go from having 3 fumbles in 2 years to 6 in 1 season? I am a little worried that he's not going to be quite what he thought he was, but I'm not done with him. I just don't need to watch him anymore this year. So instead, give me the kids. Really, give me the kid. Rusty, one of the things with this, if he wants a big contract, running backs are always going to get smaller contracts. That is one thing to keep in mind. So if we go to NFL running backs by salary, let's look. I'm gonna quickly pull this up. If you go to the average running back salary per year, there are only 5 running backs making over $10 million a year. Only 5. Christian McCaffrey at $19 million, Jonathan Taylor at $14, Saquon at $12.5, Alvin Kamara at $12.2, and Josh Jacobs at $12 even. Behind him, you got a bunch of guys making $9 million in the $9 to $10 million. Mixon, Connor, Montgomery, Stevenson. Even Derrick Henry's only making $8 million. So let's put it this way: if Breece Hall, if you could get Breece Hall for $10 million for an average annual cap hit, would you be okay with that? $10 million wouldn't be a top running back. The way that some of these wide receivers get paid, 25, 30. If you only got to pay 10 for Breece for a second contract, would you do that? Think about it. Harlan Abraham, good to see you, man. Jets should see what they could get for Hall. Hey, for a running back, I'm willing to at least explore it. Yeti, happy humping to you as well, man. Glad you're here. The great Nick Shine is here. Nick is here so he doesn't get fined. I think he's going to stick around for some trivia as well. And Nick, you might be needed for this. I'm glad you're here. Go check out Proud New York Jets Fan if you haven't already. And like and subscribe to his channel for sure. Yet he still thinks that Breece is the best player on the team. He's one of the most naturally talented players. I'd like to get him to 1,000 yards, but I'd rather save him for next year. Absolutely. I totally agree. Rusty thinks $10 million is a little bit too much for Breece when we can draft every 3 years. Okay, completely fair. But, the salary cap's going to keep rising in the NFL. It's only going up. So the $10 million now may not be what it used to be before long. So instead of Breece, let's see some more Braylon Allen. And yes, you can throw Isaiah Davis in here as well. I want to spend a minute on Agent Zero He saw his biggest load of the year this past weekend. 37 snaps. He played 54% of the plays. But still, the staff does not seem to trust him enough as they were throwing on that last drive. Now, 3.6 yards per carry isn't great, nor is 1.5 yards before contact. I told you Brees is averaging 2 yards before he faces contact. Braylon's getting 1.5. But here's the catch with that. Braylon's being used in those third and short spots when the defense practically knows he's almost certain to be getting the ball in that spot. Some things never change, Mr. Shine. That's right. Nick is a UNC fan, I would like to point out. More so basketball, but he is a UNC fan, so I'm sure he'll have that Bill Belichick fat hat on his wall very, very soon. And being that I'm only about 20 minutes from Chapel Hill, if you guys would like me to go down to the office and give him a piece of my mind on behalf of you guys have any messages that you'd like me to send to Mr. Spygate himself, I'll be happy to do that. I know, he'll just show me his rings and all that. My colors will not be worn. That's right. He's retiring powder blue for a little while, even though we were just about to start ACC basketball season. Rusty rubbing it in a little bit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's he basically followed me down here. And breaking news is I did mention on a short video I did a moment ago, Belichick's girlfriend actually got her admission fee waived to attend UNC. So good for her. But here's the thing with Brees, with Braylon. He's using those third and short spots. I know he gets yards after the contact better than Brees can. I know he hasn't put the ball on the ground yet. He hasn't had a fumble. I know when he has to get those short yards, he does it. I think the last 9 or 10 times it's been third and short, he's converted. And I know he's broken some tackles this year. So let me see more Braylon Allen. The Jets haven't had a running back quite like this since Chris Ivory. And Braylon's a baby. I still don't think he can afford to buy a beer at this point. So give me Braylon, give me Isaiah, and if Kenny's healthy, give him a couple of plays as well. But there's no reason to see Brees Hall again this year with respect to him. All right, the fourth position I'm going to talk about is defensive tackle, Javon Kinlaw. Please sit him down. Just cut his time, please. I don't need to see him. Make him the third defensive tackle, the fourth defensive tackle, around the level of Solomon Thomas. But we've seen enough of him. He plays 62% of the snaps. For the year, he has 33 whole tackles, 21 of them solo, 2.5 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, and only 4 quarterback hits. Basically, one quarterback hit every 3 games this guy gets. And he has no presence in the running game at all. Remember those 35 pounds of muscle we were hearing about before the season, that he was eating 9 chicken breasts a day and 28 eggs and, I don't know, eating organic dirt from the ground, whatever the hell he was eating? Where is all that muscle? Because it sure as hell ain't showing up when he's on the football field. Javon Kinlaw, oh my gosh. I'm a Joe Douglas defender, but oh boy, this did not work at all. Give me more. Uh-oh. Did he go away? There it is. Leonard Taylor. Give me some more Leonard Taylor. More on Michael Clemens in a moment. LT3 has only played 21% of snaps this year, and that was after being inactive the first 2 games. He's got 16 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss. That's more than Javon Kinlaw has, by the way, with a third of the time, and 3 quarterback hits, only 1 less than Kinlaw. Yes, he's raw, but he's got a way higher upside than Kinlaw does. And Kinlaw coming back next season. Let me see Leonard Taylor. I want him to get the second most snaps at defensive tackle, only to Quinnen Williams. That's what I want to see. Again, this is a guy a lot of us thought was going 3rd, 4th round this year. And the Jets got him as a UDFA. And he's earned his playing time. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Was he eating Gary's menu? Scott, good to see you, man. And so then at defensive tackle, we have Michael Clemens. Do I really need to say much more about him? He's played 56% of the snaps, and it's obvious he's not the JFM replacement that we were hoping for, that the coaches were hoping for. We've seen him get pushed around over and over and over again. Stevie Wonder would set a better edge than this guy does, okay? That's right. WOR. All right, there we go. The worm. Whoo, whoo, whoo. All right. But yeah, Michael Clemens, 29 tackles for the year, 15 solo tackles, 4.5 sacks. It's actually more than I think most of us would have thought, and 4 tackles for a loss. So instead, who do I want to see? David E., 22 subscribers, 1,000. Getting there. We're getting there. Little by little, we are getting there. I'll be very happy when we cross that threshold. So I am pretty happy about that. All right. So instead, give me some more Eric Watts. Now, that's what she said. Eric Watts has played only 17% of snaps. Now, the stats haven't been fantastic. He's got 10 tackles. I don't expect him to be much of a presence in the run game either. But, he's pretty much pushed Braden McGregor to the bench. And he's also played special teams pretty well. He's played 28% of the special team snaps. And he's shown the ability a couple of times to get pressure on the punter. He's got some energy that he's bringing to the field. I don't know if this guy's going to be a solution, but I know Clemens isn't. So let's see a little bit more Eric Watts going forward the rest of the way. Okay, so let's take that out of there. And now we're going to get into what has become a regular feature and will be for another couple of weeks. It's time to get into Tankathon. That's right. That pretty much sums us all up right now. Oh, my gosh. So a couple of quick draft projections. So right now, the Tankathon draft power ranking has the Jets 7th, which is also their draft spot. What that does is it looks at the point value chart and adds it all up. So if you have like 2 first-rounders, you're going to be much, much higher. And right now, the Jets rank 7th in overall draft power ranking. The average draft position has them, it's expected that they will finish either 6 or 7, pretty much a 50-50 shot. And then the football power index, looking at percentages, they give the Jets a 2.3% chance to get the number 1 pick, a 36.1% chance to get a top 5 pick. Right now, I would not count on it. I think they're going to have to lose out for that to happen, especially when you factor in strength of schedule. But to earn a top 10 pick, very likely 92.7%. I don't think there's any way the Jets finish lower than 11th this season. I think that's what we're looking at. So let's look at these standings right now. So right now I've got the first 8 teams on this slide. Now, Vegas and the Giants are both 2 and 11. Vegas with a slightly easier strength of schedule at 538. And the Giants, as you can see, have a much harder strength of schedule. So the Giants are not going to be passing Vegas unless Vegas wins another game this season. Yeah, we got a nice little pop here in the chat. I like it. All right. I appreciate that. Russell, you can't tell people to tank. You just can't. You just ask the Jets to go out there and beat the Jets. That's all you got to do. That's all it takes. But then you have a lot of teams bunched in at 3 and 10. 6 teams all tied at 3 and 10. Now, the thing with the Jets is they've got the second hardest strength of schedule among this group. And if you look at the teams right around them, Jacksonville, easiest remaining strength of schedule. Tennessee, not too far behind. Carolina, an easier strength of schedule. So the only way the Jets are passing one of those 3 teams is if one of them wins the game and the Jets don't. Okay, or they get more wins than the Jets. Now, obviously, Jacksonville and Tennessee still have another game to play, so you figure one of them will win a game. New England, still a very hard strength of schedule. I think they still have 2 games to go against the Bills. They do. So a 654, that is the 3rd hardest strength of schedule remaining. So a 462 SOS compared to the Jets 516 won't be easy, but it is possible. And if you're wondering why I stand on the take, I just want them to play well. I want the young players to play well, be competitive, and lose, and don't get hurt. That's about all I really want. I can't root for a loss, but it's like, if they lose, it is what it is. It's fine. I deal with it. Just fine. Cleveland, yeah, they're not going to pass the Jets on strength of schedule. They've got the 6th hardest strength of schedule remaining. And then as we go to the next slide, we've got 1 4-9 team in Bears. They've got the hardest strength of schedule still to go at 769. So a very, very hard strength of schedule. It's going to take the Jets winning 2 more games to pass Chicago in the draft standings. So if you think that could happen, then okay. But if it's 1 win, they're not going to pass the Bears. And then you've got, if you still want to include it, three teams behind them at New Orleans, Cincinnati, and Dallas, all 5-8 records. So that's where those are. And New Orleans and Cincy do have a lower strength of schedule than the Jets do. But I still think Cincinnati, I'm very confident, is going to win another game. I'm very confident. New Orleans, with Derek Carr probably out for the season, New Orleans might bear some watching, guys. You might want to be rooting for New Orleans to win a game somewhere along the line. Dallas, we'll have to see, but I can see Dallas winning one more game somehow. All right. So that's where we are there. Now, as far as the rooting guide goes, all right, so we got the three columns. You got your 2-win teams, your 3-win teams, and your 4-win teams. Now, I put the asterisk next to the team that we would be rooting for. Now, I want to explain something. Where I put 2 asterisks. So with the 4-win team, Chicago at Minnesota. Okay, maybe I should actually see if I can post this, make a post out of this. That is a big game. Chicago at Minnesota is a big game for the strength of schedule against New England. So if the Bears can beat the Vikings, that is really going to help the Jets with their strength of schedule tiebreaker against the Patriots. So you want to root for the Bears there. Now, the other games, really, Tennessee is the main team that you're looking at with strength of schedule right now. Okay, so there's 7 games that could affect that. Washington at New Orleans, Tampa Bay at the Chargers, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. But there are 4 games that are going to mean a little bit extra, and those are down below. Those have the 4 asterisks, okay? So you're in for Houston, Indy, Detroit, and Green Bay. Those are the teams you got to root for. Now, I think Houston will win. I think Detroit will win. I think Green Bay will win as of now. I think Denver beats Indianapolis. But if we get 3 out of those 4, that's going to be pretty encouraging, because if we go back to that slide, it is pretty close. Tennessee's at 5-11, and the Jets are at 5-16. So one game can make a difference there. So if you need something to root for outside of fantasy, go for that. All right. So let's get rid of the tankathon stuff. Now we'll do a little bit of a brief game preview as the Jets take on the Jaguars. This quarterback will not be playing in that game. I'll just give you the 5 things to know about Jacksonville, and then we will do trivia. And then if we get our likes, we get 15 likes, guys. Remember, 15 likes, we spin the wheel. We don't get the 15 likes, the wheel gets a vacation for a week. So if you want to spin the wheel and have a little bit of fun, and who knows what kind of crazy we can have, you got to hit that thumbs up button. All right. 5 things to know about Jacksonville. The Jaguars are giving up a league worst 396.1 yards per game. If that number holds over the final month, it will be the second worst average in Jaguars history, behind only the 2020 team, which allowed 417 per game. All right, so you can move the ball on this defense. They are allowing 263.5 passing yards per game, worst in the league, basically neck and neck with Baltimore. Aaron Rodgers, throw this week. Throw the ball bravely down the field. And accurately. The season's not a dream. Okay, enough nursery rhymes for the night. Number 3, Tank Bigsby, the Jaguars running back, is tied for 9th in the league in yards per carry with 5.0. Travis Etienne, I don't think he's quite lived up to the hype. He's dealt with some injuries, but Tank Bigsby's, that's a great running back name too, isn't it? Yeah, put it this way. If we had a Tank Bigsby on our draft board and we needed a running back, who wouldn't take him, you know? Yeah, instead of like Drew Jones, I'll take Tank Bigsby. Let's do it, right? So I definitely think he's a player to watch. Yes, I'll be in Vegas on the 15th. So definitely they need to do that. But remember, last week, and like I said earlier, the Jets really did a good job against the Miami running game. They held Miami to just 44 yards on the ground. So the running defense, they actually showed a pulse last week. Number 4, the Jacksonville offense is 31st in third down conversions. 33%, that's only ahead of the Cleveland Browns. And number 5, the Jaguars don't take penalties. They are second in the league in taking the fewest penalties, 5.5 per game. If you're wondering about the Jets, they are 30th in that category. The only teams taking more penalties are Tennessee and Baltimore. That's pretty much it. Of course, the Jets do have to run the ball, but I am saying this is a game where you could see a bit of a repeat performance from last week because, again, this is the worst pass defense in football. And you really only have two pass rushers to watch out for, Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen. You stop them. If you contain them, which I think the Jets can, Aaron Rodgers is going to be basically uncover the whole game. So I'm feeling pretty confident. Will Bobby be getting naked on your show? Nick might be able to negotiate that. I think we'd have to get to 2,000 subscribers for that. Gosh, Sharon McLean, sign everybody named Tank. I like that. Yeah, why not? As long as they're not playing wide receiver, I think that's a good idea. So, all right. So I think that's all we're going to do. Again, we're not doing the DVOA right now. I might bring it back one day, but right now it's behind a paywall. You can get the overall team DVOAs, but you have to pay like $15 a month to get offense, defense, special teams. And I'm sorry, it's not worth it to me to do that. So had to put my foot down somewhere. All right, everybody. So it is now, let's see, it is 7:05 in the evening. And I think you know what time it is. It is that time when every single week, you know what I do? I head into the labyrinth of Jets knowledge, of Jets history, of Jets lore. I bust open the books. I pull open the websites. I dust off the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I watch 2K99 challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal freaking fan base in all of the NFL. Just how much do you know about your New York Football Jets? So if you are ready, let us play Jets Trivia. Okay, so let's add the question to the screen, and Chad is doing very, very well. So for the regular season, you have got 9 right and only 5 wrong. So if we go the 18, I don't know if we're going to do we'll probably stretch into the playoffs, but for the regular season, you have assured yourselves of a 500 record. So, which is also a goal of our team at some point, sadly enough. So I had to turn it up just a little bit on this question. I had to make this a little more difficult. I had to find a Jets-Jaguars question that would challenge the fan base. And so I think I have done that tonight. So here is tonight's trivia question. And again, you have 5 minutes. So I'll set the timer for 5 minutes and put your answers down there in the chat. And let's see how we do. So tonight's question. The Jets defeated the Jaguars 32-3 in 2011. 4 Jaguars players that day also played for the Jets in their career. Name them. By the way, I'm going to specify 4 Jaguars defensive players also played for the Jets in their careers. Name them. 3 were in the secondary. And if you're wondering about the word secondary, that D is capitalized for a reason. It might seem really difficult, but I think you could get, but it is possible. So 4 Jaguars defensive players also played for the Jets in their careers. So there were Jaguars in 2011. At some point, they also played for the Jets. Yep, Rusty, defense only. That's right. So 3 of them played in the secondary. So I think Jets defenders who played for the Jaguars. And the other one wasn't a great Jet, but he's still around. Duzable and Coleman. I will tell you this. Nick, that's 2 correct answers. Leger Duzable and Drew Coleman are 2 correct answers here. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeti goes with Donovan Darius. That's a great guess, but I don't think – did Darius play with anybody other than the Jaguars? I remember it felt like every year he was getting franchise tagged by Jacksonville. You know, it felt like they would never sign him to a deal. Yeah, he went to the Raiders and the Dolphins very briefly, but he was never a Jet. He was a good player, though. Good player. Rusty goes with Quincy Rusty, Quincy who? Which Quincy are you talking about? Not sure I know who you mean here. All right, 2 minutes down, 3 minutes to go. All right, so again, 4 defensive players. For anybody just joining us, played for the Jaguars in that game when the Jets just beat them down in 2011. And those 4 Jaguars played for the Jets at some point. Name them. 3 played in the secondary. So Duzable played defensive tackle, and Drew Coleman was in the secondary. So it's 2 other defensive backs. 2 other defensive backs. And again, that capital D. Don't forget the capital D. Nick is right around it. Nick is saying Landry, not the muscular one, but his brother. I forget his name. Can anybody help Nick with that one? Q's brother. No. No. Quincy Williams has not been playing for 13 years in the NFL. Rusty, come on. Rusty, just for that. You got a buzzer for that one, brother. So Landry, yeah, but y'all gonna have to give me the name. Tom Scott Foster, Tom Landry. That's it. DeMar, you're close. It's not DeMar. Sharon McLean says Larry. Sharon, what's his name? I'm being nice here. You guys are right around it. I gave you the break with the first names on Coleman and Duzable. I'm not giving the breaks here. You guys got to give it to me. I'm being a hard ass. I know it, but not Duran. You're not. Yep. Sharon set Nick up for the lob, and he smashed it. Dwight Lowry is correct. That's right. And Dane finished up with the DeJuan Landry. That is correct as well. Actually. There we go. So those are the correct answers. Dwight Lowry, DeJuan Landry, Drew Coleman, and Leger Duzable. I know I had to kind of give a little bit of it away, but you know what? We got it correct with about a minute left to spare. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are now 10-5. So what can I say? But congratulations. That is a win for the chat. So what else can we say but great job. All right, let's get that trivia question out of here. Next week we'll have you know what? I think next week we're going to do 2 trivia questions because 2 weeks from now will be Christmas night. I will not be here to do the show. I think next week we'll do 2 trivias. I think everybody be good with that. You know what? Maybe I think 15 likes and we'll do that. How about that? 15 likes and we'll do 2 trivia questions next week. All right. As far as the likes go, guys, we are 1 like short. So I know we got enough people here in the chat. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up button and you want to see us spin the wheel, your vote makes a difference. Your vote will, and we will not be counting votes for the next 3 weeks, unlike in some counties in this country. No. I tabulate the votes instantly, damn it. Rusty. Nick, I'll be somewhere between Mexico and Jamaica, to be honest with you. I'm not going to have my laptop with me. I will be doing like short videos from time to time if something big happens. I'll put some posts up, but if I was to do a show, it would be on the laptop, and you know, there'll probably be some stuff going on where I'll be. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, I don't think I can do a show that night. Maybe I can do something in the morning, Christmas morning, maybe. It just depends how the day goes. But you know, if something happens, I'll see what I can do. But it would probably be just from it'd be like a YouTube short because I'm just gonna have my cell phone. So, all right, let's double check the likes. Nick says that we crossed over. Did we? Nick, I still see 14, man. There. Okay, now we got our 15. Okay. All right, Nick. You know what? I'm gonna let you decide tonight. What wheel you would like to do? Would you like to do the last week we did running backs? Would you like to do the 100 random jet wheel, or would you like to switch it up? Do quarterbacks, secondary, seasons, coaches? Nick, I'm gonna let you decide. What would you like to do tonight? Actually, let's see. Just be 1 second here, guys. All right, there we go. Placeholders. Yep. There you go. All right. So I'm going to quit. All right. So let me just send out a message here. There we go. All right. So share screen. Close. Okay. All right. So one day we need a Jets all-time Wags wheel. All right, so Nick is cooking. If audio is good, you could join. Okay, yeah, Nick, if you want to do that, I just sent you the link. You're more than welcome to hop in. Yeah, I haven't done a wheel with Nick in a little while, so yeah, since he's here, I think that might be fun. Oh, Wags wheel one day. Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, that would be quite the history. Yeah, we could do the draft bust wheel. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Free agent. Oh boy, if we did a general manager's wheel, I'm telling you, Joe Douglas would be number one. I mean, seriously. I mean, you could say Weeb Eubank too, because Weeb was actually the GM/coach for those years, but he was cheap. He let a lot of talent go. Every general manager has warts. There's a reason I've not done a general manager wheel and probably will not anytime soon. You know what? I put Nick in timeout for about 6 weeks, pretty much. So I know Nick's gonna be doing a show a little bit later on tonight. I think Nick goes on at 9 p.m. So later on tonight, you can check his show out. All right, so just wait on him to pop in. Then we'll get going. Okay, there we go. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the show your friend and his, the one and only Nick Shine. Nick, how you doing tonight, man? What's cooking? Literally.
Chicken and vegetables. That's all I eat.
Chicken and vegetables. That's right. Yeah. How's the? I bet you're feeling a lot better with that. So what's your what's the vegetable mix tonight? What are we doing there?
So one of ShopRite's finest.
Okay.
We got.
I was interested. Harlan wanted to know too what you were making.
We got the Bowl and Basket brand of cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. Grade A. Only the best. Grade A.
Very, very nice. Well done.
None of that grade B shit for me, pal.
Awesome. All right. So Yeti right here has his priorities in order. He's helping his son with homework, but the wheel will get 90% of his attention. Poor kid.
Nice.
That's good because your son's going to have
probably better off with Yeti not helping him. Let's be real.
It does depend on the subject matter, So, yeah, I would. But yeah, today we'll learn that we'll work on math and fractions and probability and stuff like that. So your son will get a valuable lesson in these particular subjects. Nick, do you have a particular?
Hopefully, Yeti's son doesn't fail like the Jets do all the time.
Exactly. Nick, do you have a particular wheel that you would like to do tonight?
What are the options, pal? What do you got?
We did running backs last week, so we'll leave that out. We could do draft. We could do Jets seasons. We could do Jets. We could do Jets secondary, cornerbacks and safeties, or we could we go old school, do the 100 random jet wheel.
Oh man, I mean, if you and I are doing this, don't we have to do the 100?
I think we kind of do. Okay, here we go. Let's put that up. Let's max it out. Now, as you may know, this is the first wheel that Nick and I have done where I have added a few stipulations, a few wrinkles, you might say, to this wheel.
What do you got?
If we land on one, you will find out.
All right.
That's right. But there's just some different things where we might be able to delete a spin that we've already had. We might have to pick the player to the left or to the right if we land on a particular space.
Okay.
So a whole lot of things can happen here. So there's a few wrinkles in there. So there are more than 100 spaces on this wheel. All right. All right. So chat, if you've been here before, and I know most of you have, you know how this goes. We are going to spin this wheel 10 times. Now, on this wheel, we have 100 random Jets players. Everything from Curtis Martin to Christian Hackenberg, from Bill Klecko to Kyle Wilson. And so the job tonight is to get 10 Jets. We're going to blind rank them 1 to 10. And at the end of those 10 picks, the idea is to have best Jet to worst Jet 1 to 10. That is the simple goal. And as we know before every pick, put your guess in the chat on who you think we're going to land on. And if we land on that player, you get to pick where that player goes on the list. Nick, did I miss anything?
I think you got it all, man.
All right. Yeah, David says we're getting a little bit of weird audio from you. Is there any audio in the background there? Like, you have the show on or anything?
No, hold on. How's that? I was propping my phone up.
You're good.
And the Keurig was open, so maybe it was echoing off of that. I was trying to see the screen better.
That's perfect.
Better?
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Thanks.
All right, cool.
Okay.
And who was complaining? Just so I know, I can make fun of them later on my show.
I might have to stop by a little later too. All right, everybody. So for spin number 1, let's get your guesses into the chat right now. Let's see, Rusty Spooner. Yeah, watch Gastineau and Favre be the final 2.
John Hall.
You know what? It was either going to be him or JoJo Townsell. I can definitely see that. All right. I'm going to go because the New York Stock Exchange documentary is coming up. I'm going to say we go right to the top. I'm going to go with Joe Klecko.
Nice. You're going big.
Mm-hmm.
Go big or go home.
Go big or home. I was about to say that. Yeah. You know, last week was one of those rare times when we did not wait until the very end to pick the number 1. We got Curtis Martin kind of early on.
Oh, wow.
And so I think we're going to right around the middle. So I think that's what's going to happen. All right. I'm seeing Ivory. I'm seeing Corbett. We got just another moment or two here. Any quick news here? Oh, yeah. Here's some news. So Yankee news. The Yankees have re-signed Jonathan Loaizaga to a 1-year contract with a team option for 2026. He went elbow surgery last year. He's expected to be ready to pitch in late April.
I heard the Mets the other day were thinking about going after him. So
there was a rumor about that from some guy named like Michael Gonzalez, who nobody's ever heard of. So one of these like Bob Nightingale guys who doesn't really have any private information.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Give me about 15 more seconds, everybody, to get your guesses in. Oh, okay. Sharon goes with Bruce Harper. Okay. All right, guys. Time for our first spin of the night. In 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come. Stop. This is a pretty dang good start. One of the best left tackles we ever had, a 10-year stalwart from the University of Virginia, and lost a lot of weight, looking very slim and trim since he retired. Number 60, DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Nice. Good start.
That's how you start a wheel.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. So, chat, let's think about where we want to rank the brick. Did I say absolute top of the line? Can't quite do that. But again, missed only 1 snap in those 10 years. One of those players, you didn't know what you had until he was gone. And
don't know what you got till it's gone.
That's twice I've sang tonight. Man, oh, man.
With that, I would say I'm rubbing off on you, but the chat would have too much fun with that.
That's a scare. As long as better than you than Naked Bobby.
Hey man, Bobby lost 3 pounds in a week. He made himself $270.
I didn't know that. Okay,
we did a telethon, like a pledge. He's getting $90 a pound that he loses for the next 16 weeks.
Wow, $90 a pound. That is pretty.
That's like Wagyu beef.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see. Right now, the chat seems to be they got the number 3 in mind, so they think that we're going to get 2 players better than Brick. Nick, how do you feel we should rank Brick in this case?
All right. Now, you know what I always say. You have to factor in the percentages, and you have to factor in the percentages of the wheel. The wheel is like 10 great Jets, 30 very good Jets, 30 very bad Jets, and then like 30 piles of steaming shit. So the percentages say we're not going to get 2 better on the norm. I think I would go at number 2. That's just me knowing how nuts this wheel gets.
Nick, I really don't want you to take this the wrong way because I mean this for entertainment purposes. But when you're here, we tend to have massively bad wheels.
Factor that in too. My luck. That's fine.
The Nick factor. I think there is something to that. I really, really do. I would have gone, yeah, I feel like I'm very torn between number 2 and number 3 at this point. But right now, you know, the 3s are that dominant in the chat right now that I think 3 is going to be the way to go here. So, yeah.
Here's our luck with the wheel.
Yeah.
If we go 3, we will regret it. If we go 2, we will regret it. So we'll regret long term whatever we do because the wheel is almighty and knows all.
Yeah, this is very true. It's somebody I almost wish that we had gotten them a little bit later, where 2 or 3 were already taken, and we could just plug them on in. That would have worked a little better. All right, DeBurger Ferguson, number 3, with our first spin. All right, let's go on to spin number 2. And Nick, of course, you could always keep John Hall the entire wheel if you want, or you could switch it up. And chat, let's if you can put your guesses down starting now, that'd be great.
Jonathan Vilma, last jersey I ever owned.
All right. Mika Zibanejad actually scored a goal. Oh my God, amazing! All right, there we go. David D. David D. going with Wayne Corbett. Yeah, David. Both David and Dane. They have a player, and that's the player that they claim for the entire night. So. David D wants Wayne Corbett, which he also did with the first spin.
It's a good strategy, right? Because if you stick with one person, it's a good strategy because the odds of picking one changing 10 times decrease.
Yeah, I mean, if you stick with one, the odds are better. Did I even put Tom Tupa on the wheel? I don't recall him being on here.
As quarterback or punter?
You know that just like Ohtani in fantasy, you got to specify the whether he's a pitcher or a hitter. That's right. Maybe I should include 2 Tupa spaces. That's actually another wheel I could do: kickers and punters.
Nice.
We would do that.
It's amazing. Zerline would have got a 1 last year. Now he's getting the electric chair.
He's Doug Bryan levels. He was almost Kari Vedvik level. That's how bad it was. Alex Kessman.
The season has broken many things.
Many times. All right, I see Kyle Clifton. I see Jumbo Elliott. Okay, spin number 2. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Yes! You can't make it up. John Hall.
John Hall?
The one and only John Hall. Nick, I'm just sorry that we couldn't all see your reaction at the moment.
I know. I didn't even. I'm washing out my my Tupperware. Sorry. I muted myself for a minute.
Is there any place to put him other than number 1?
I'd just like to say, in John Hall's defense, before we get some embarrassing numbers coming in from the chat here,
yes.
How many players have kicked us into the playoffs? John Hall did. 53-yard field goal in Oakland. Now, you can blame Herman Edwards for flying back across the country and going back in less than a week, 3 cross-country trips in 6.5 days. That was stupid. But not many on this list have put the Jets into the playoffs. John Hall did. Even though he's the kicker, 6.
Okay. Yeah. Who else kicked us in? I think it was Raul Allegre who got us in 91 against the Dolphins. I want to say it was Allegre. I know you meant that's I know you meant that just as a rhetorical question, but then I actually started thinking about it. All right, so just to give you some stats real quick, John Hall kicked with the Jets for 6 years before he was raided by the Redskins at the time. Yeah, YouTube, please cancel me for saying Redskins.
They're coming back, dude.
I know, I've heard. Sounds pretty good to me. So he made 149 out of 203 field goals, so 73.4%. 205 out of 210 extra points. And from 50, he was, it's funny, from 50 and up, he was 9 for 19. From 40 to 49, he was 34 for 59. Yeah, not amazing numbers, but good, solid numbers, and did make a very clutch kick. So,
but let's be real. back then it was much more difficult to kick because a lot more stadiums had grass and muddy surfaces. Not everyone had all of this brand new, beautiful next turf that water doesn't accumulate on. So it's a lot easier to kick now than it was back then.
Rusty Spooner says Hall kicked us out of the playoffs too. What?
When?
I have no memory of this.
We got our ass kicked by Oakland. We lost like 30-10, I think.
Yeah, 30. Yeah. I love Chad, but Chad didn't have a good game, and neither did the defense. That went on John Hall, lost by 20 points. I mean, Doug Bryan cost us a playoff game, but those other games that we lost, they were pretty much blowouts. So I don't know if I can agree with that.
No, the 2000 Jets. No, was it 2000?
Oh, we had field goals in the regular season that cost us a spot?
No, 2000 was Vinny's year. Vinny was the quarterback. Chad didn't come on until 2002.
Right, because Chad was drafted in 2000.
Yeah, but he didn't play until 2002, and then we had the home playoff game in the wild card against Indy, 41-0.
Right.
So 2000 was Vinny's team. So
yeah, right, 2000. Yeah. Okay. Right now, let's see. 6 seems to be getting the edge. There's a couple of. I think we're going to do worse than John Hall for sure. I think 6 is a good way to go here. I think 6 is going to have it out. All right. So John Hall gets spot number 6. Perfect. All right, let's go to spin number 3. Now, I don't think there is – I just have this good feeling right now. I got this warm, fuzzy feeling in the pit of my stomach that if we got John Hall on the wheel, then JoJo Townsell cannot be.
Can you imagine? I'd never do the wheel again with you. I would retire from wheeldom after this.
All right, chat. Let's see who you're going to guess here for spin number 3.
You know what? If I would have stuck with my prediction, I would have had John Hall. We'd have John Hall number 1 right now.
This is accurate, yeah. And it would have been an automatic win. The wheel would have been an automatic win just because John Hall was number 1.
Absolutely.
Wow, Roger, I've taken my guy, Brandon Moore. I like that.
I'm just going to zoom in and say the first name I see. Pick left or right. There you go. That was the first thing that I zoomed in on.
Yeah, so
Lamont
we landed
Jordan.
there. We picked either Brad Smith or Lamont Jordan.
Yeah, Lamont Jordan.
Lamont Jordan, okay. All right.
Oh, no, I was on the other side. I was near Braxton Berrios and Calvin Pace.
Oh, that'd be an interesting choice. It's like because you have to pick the player and then what spot. So it's kind of a challenging spot. We got some interesting Randy Rasmussen, Steve Atwater, who I actually mentioned on the show last week. I don't think too many Jet shows have been talking about Steve Atwater lately, but we mentioned him as one of the legends that the Jets helped to kill. Okay, spin number 3. I'm going to take Mo Lewis. Why not? I'm just feeling some good Jets right now. I'm going to go Mo Lewis. All right, let's go. Spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1.
Well, if it is Mo Lewis, that would be great because the day Bill Belichick gets a head coaching job, the man who started his career.
It is actually Victor Green, who I think was on Samini's podcast last week. So, yeah, we're doing very well tonight. Victor Green, many would tell you, the best safety the Jets ever had, and undrafted, I believe. I don't even think he was drafted. Pretty sure he was an undrafted free agent out of Akron. Yeah, he was in 93. Played with the Jets from 93 to 2001. And for his career, 25 interceptions, 961 tackles. 1996 was the leading tackler in the NFL. 2003 named to the Jets 4-decade team. So, yeah.
You know, him and Marvin Jones are my favorite 2 defensive players we've ever had.
Gotcha. Okay. The chat is not a big fan of Victor Green. Rusty Spooner goes 5 and Roger F goes 7. Roger, not a Victor Green fan? Interesting. But I can tell you Victor Green.
I do not approve. I put the camera back on to do the disapproving head shake.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I figured he'd be right there with Brick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and if Brick was 2, I'd say 3. But since Brick is 3, I'll say 4.
I'd be okay with 4. And Victor Green, by the way, really wants to see Aaron Glenn become Jets head coach. Really thinks it would work. So, We'll see. Roger says there are too many great players. No.
Yeah, on other teams, not ours.
But put it this way, bro. If Ronnie Lott was on the wheel, it wouldn't be the Ronnie Lott from San Francisco. All right, I see fives, couple fours. Right? Yeah, he's going to be in that 4 to 5 range for sure. It'd be hard to get 3 players better. Yeti, didn't you guys play Madden? He was awesome. Yeah, I miss Madden, real Madden. Oh, well. Okay.
Oh,
Guys, I'll give you about 15 seconds to get your last votes in because this one's going to be tight, whether it's a 4 or a 5.
That's what she said.
Or he said, too.
If it's a 4 or a 5, it's probably loose as hell. Never mind.
Yeah. Nick, you went 4 for Victor Green?
I will, yeah. And
Okay.
I can't put him ahead of Brick, but like I said, if Brick was 2, I'd go 3. Brick is 3, I'll go 4.
Okay.
But pretty good name so far.
Yeah, we're up to a very good start. Almost too good a start, right?
Oh, yeah, hell is coming.
Uh-huh. A pale horse and hell follows with it. Okay, I'm going to put Victor Green at number 4. Looks like he's got a little bit of the edge there. I mean, these top 2 guys are going to have to be Ring of Honor level players, no question about it. All right, and it's going to be. This is interesting. We have DeBrickashaw Ferguson at 3, Victor Green at 4, and John Hall at 6. The fact that we only are going to have 1 jet in between Green and Hall. This wheel is going to turn out very. We need very good and very bad. That is what we need right now. All right. So let's put down our guesses for spin number 4. Nick, who do you believe we are going to land on for spin number 4?
Let me zoom in. Freeman McNeil.
Freeman McNeil. Okay. Roger is taking JoJo Townsell.
Nice. Put some goddamn respect on that name.
I usually don't stay with the player, but I will. I'm gonna go back to Joe Klecko. I'm gonna stay with it for a little bit.
I know you and I haven't done one of these in a while. So, hold on. Am I here? You hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Sorry, I clicked off by accident. When you say his name, it's JoJo Townsell. You got to stress that second one.
Well, the Townsell. I always emphasize that part.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I just said it a little quieter, but I definitely put in a little accent on it. But okay, so all right, so that's where we'll go. Sharon's going with Winston Hill. I like that very, very much. Okay. All right, here we go. Spin number 4.
Freeman McNeil would be an outstanding number 2 to drop right now.
It would be an outstanding number 2 to drop. I got it. In 3.
Drop the deuce.
2, 1. Oh! Joe Klecko!
Nice.
How do you like that? I'm going to go play the lottery tomorrow. Oh, man. Number 73. There was no way we could get through this wheel and not land on at least one member of the famed Sack Exchange, premiering Friday night at 8 p.m. on ESPN. All right. Yep, guys. This is going to be my choice, and I got to put number 1. How could you not?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could make the argument he is the best Jet of all time for as long as he was. I think he is, but he is one of the maybe 3 players that you can make that argument for. So
he would be one of the 3 for me.
Yeah, Rusty, believe me, I know. Unlike the NFL, there is no way to rig this. It is not possible. All right. So we've got that down. So number 1, Klecko. Number 3, the Brick. Number 4, Victor Green. And number 6, John Hall. So we've got the spots left are 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And you know what? That's a good wheel because we know there is a shitstorm coming, right?
Yeah. I do have a little bit of I do have a worry starting to form in the back of my mind that maybe John Hall should have been 7. But
Let the wheel play out. No preemptive negativity.
Yeah, we got to get 4 bad Jets. 4 bad Jets out of 6. So it's going to be a. It's
the Jets, bro. We could get 4,000 bad ones.
All right. So since I got that one, I got to start predicting ones who are not so good. I'm gonna go with one of my least favorite Jets of the last few, Jeff Cumberland. I did not like
Jericho Cotchery.
What?
Jericho Cotchery.
Jericho.
Formerly of Watchung, New Jersey.
And North Carolina State University. Go Pack.
I did his disconnect when he left the Jets for when I was a cable guy.
Oh, I think you may have mentioned that to me. Yeah, who didn't love Jericho? All right, Rusty goes with D. Milner. Yeti goes with, I think Yeti is trying to say Ed Marinaro, except he is not on the wheel. Roger goes, I see Marvin Powell in there. Okay. All right, Joe Fields. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go to the next spin. I said Jeff Cumberland. You said Jericho Cotchery. Okay, here we go. Spin number 5. In 3, 2, 1. And we land on, we have chosen Robbie Anderson. A rather infuriating wide receiver. You could go deep. He was a player. It's like you loved him one week and you hated him the next week. That's about the best way I feel like I could sum it up. Oh, and a product of I believe from Teaneck, New Jersey, and somehow only 31 years old. So he was with the Jets for 4 seasons. It felt longer, but 4 seasons. And in that time, 207 catches on 382 targets, 3,059 yards. Almost had 1,000 yards in 2017, had 20 touchdowns, so about 5 touchdowns a year. Pretty good, but, the Jets let him go. He went off to Carolina and, after 2 decent years was never really heard from after that. So, yeah, it had had pretty good hands, didn't drop a lot of passes. It's just, a lot of times he'd go deep, so you'd have he didn't catch a whole lot of the passes that were thrown his way. Nick, what do you think about – we haven't landed on him in a while. Robbie Anderson, where would we put him here? What do you think? Oh, Nick. There you go. Somehow
I hit the refresh button by accident, and I was like, oh, no, he's not in the StreamYard. It's going to take a while. It's going to take him trying to talk to me before he realizes I'm not here.
That's basically what happened.
I got excited because I thought it was Richie Anderson.
Yeah. So it is Robbie. It is we have chosen Robbie Anderson. See what I did there?
I remember him fumbling multiple times, getting stripped against Miami. I cannot put him anywhere decent. I think he's an 8.
And Yeti is not a fan. That douche is only 31, he asks. All right.
Not a fan in any way, shape, or form. Overrated, was a one-trick pony, could only run deep.
Yep, absolutely. And I refuse to use the name chosen. I will absolutely not do it.
Yeah, I choose to put him at 8.
I'm thinking about the same thing. Rusty goes 7. Yeti wants to put him as low as possible. Yeah, I mean, he did have productive moments. He had productive games. So, you can't quite put him right at the bottom. But, yeah, I think 8's a reasonable spot for him. So, okay. So,
I mean, he did have a great touchdown to beat the Cowboys.
Yes, that pass from Darnold, the sign of things to come. Hey, maybe Minnesota should sign Robbie Anderson and reform that lights out connection.
I don't like you.
All right.
I'm okay with Sam.
All right. Yeah, I think in retrospect, I don't think we really dislikes. I think we're realizing more and more as other quarterbacks have failed. It was mostly about the coaching.
And lack thereof.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you got to go to quarterback rehab, as I call it, to get fixed up, aka San Francisco. So, All right. Well, we're going to put Robbie Anderson at number 8 on our list. So that is our lowest ranking so far. So at the halfway point, here's where we are. Number 1, Joe Klecko. Number 2, blank. Number 3, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 5, blank. Number 6, John Hall. Number 7, blank. Number 8, Robbie Anderson. Numbers 9 and 10 are both blank. So it's pretty well spread out. I'm feeling pretty good about where we are so far. There's room for great Jets, room for mid Jets, and room for busts. So,
Nice.
All right. So let's go to spin number 6. Chat. Start putting your guesses right down there in the chat. I'm going to say we land on Aaron Glenn. I'm going to say Aaron Glenn, possible next Jets head coach.
Kevin Mawai.
Kevin Mawai. I like it.
Not the next Jets head coach.
Yeah, he's too good to be our head coach. He's got bigger things to do. Okay, I see Antonio Cromartie. All right. Wouldn't surprise me if Robbie Anderson has almost as many kids as Cromartie does. He just comes across that way to me sometimes.
Did you see the stat that Tyreek Hill has more children born this year with 5 than he has touchdown receptions with 4?
That's amazing.
He's probably too damn tired to run into the end zone after all that baby making.
Michael Lombardi will serve as the GM of the North Carolina football program with Belichick.
The GM?
Oh, yeah. These colleges all have GMs, like Adrian Wojnarowski. He left ESPN. He's basically the general manager of St. Bonaventure basketball, his alma mater.
All right. I guess now because you're making offers to them, right?
Yep. So he took that job. Roger F. Going with Marty Lyons, wants to go sack exchange. I see Mo Lewis in there as well. Okay. All right, guys, give about 15 seconds to get your last couple guesses in. Sharon goes Marvin Powell. Sharon always goes a little bit old school. I like it. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go to spin number 6. And we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on, this will be a good one, Braylon Edwards. 1 year old that long, but he made a pretty dang good impact when he was here.
Same argument as I made for John Hall, right?
I guess so. I think that's pretty fair.
That catch won a playoff game.
And the funny thing is, Braylon was only here for 28 games. It doesn't feel like it was that short, but it really was. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
We both knew as soon as we said. So with the Jets, let's see. So, but really 2.5 years, I guess, is what it was, according to this. So let's see. You played 31 games with the Jets, 98 catches on 191 targets, 1,570 yards, 11 touchdowns. But definitely had some big moments. I mean, I think of the pass from Brad Smith to him in the championship game in Indianapolis. I was there.
Nice.
That was about the highlight of the day. A few other good things happened, but not much. And he definitely had some big catches. Definitely had some big moments. Catches in the playoffs, that rally against Houston. I believe he was the one who caught that long pass down the field that set up the San Antonio touchdown.
The slant in New England where he trucked their entire defense from like the 8 to get in.
Yeah. So
I'm going 5. I'm going ahead of Hall.
5, yeah. I think you either have to go 5 or you got to go 7. It's like, where would you put him compared to John Hall?
That catch on the sideline from Sanchez, that catch from Sanchez on the sideline
amazing.
Is one of the greatest moments in Jets history.
Yeah. It was that was a
Let's be real. Beating Peyton Manning is bigger than beating Rich Gannon in a regular season game.
Was it Rich Gannon? Was Gannon the quarterback?
When John Hall kicked the field goal in 2000?
Okay.
2001? Oh, 2000.
Okay. I got it. Maybe I could do a wheel of Jets plays. I just don't know how many I could come up with. Think about it. The fake spike, the butt fumble. We could have all kinds of plays.
I was thinking positive plays, negative Nancy.
Well, we got to have both, right?
Of course.
The Matt Snell touchdown run in the Super Bowl, the pass to Don Maynard in the AFL Championship game. The Chad Pennington fake pass touchdown run against Buffalo.
Herman Edwards having Chad Pennington take a knee, and then Doug Bryan kicking a field goal that hits the crossbar instead
Who's
of
the
just
negative
having him
Nancy now?
Oh, God damn it!
Hurts. The Leonard Williams pick six, not with us, with Seattle.
Marcus Coleman picking off 2 interceptions on one drive against Jay Fiedler in the Monday Night Miracle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely need.
Dude, we could do a wheel of just plays from the Monday Night Miracle.
Roger up the fail Mary. Mo Lewis creating Tom Brady. That overrated bitch. Okay, that worked. Yeah. Yep. That would work too. Yeah, I could definitely come up with a few. I have to come up with at least, I'd say, 30 or 40 plays. I think I could probably do it. There's got to be memorable ones. They just got to be memorable ones. But the thing is, like, playoff plays will always stand out above regular season plays.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you got to keep in mind.
Yep.
So that's just something that we have to remember. Okay, so Braylon Edwards, it's a bit of a split. I think 5 has a little bit of an edge, so I'll go with it. All right, Braylon Edwards gets spot number 5. I have a feeling that one's going to turn out to be pretty pivotal, but I hope it works out. All right, so all we've got left, 4 spots left, numbers 2, 7, 9, and 10. That's all we have left. All right, let's go with our next spin.
I have to go Doug Bryan since I just mentioned him.
There you go.
We need a good 10 on here.
Hello. Yeah, I definitely need a 10. I'm going to go Braden Mann, now the star punter for the Philadelphia Eagles. Just the latest player who left and has become good.
Mann and Becton going Pro Bowl in Philly or All Pro is going to be wild.
Hashtag JD new. I said it and I mean it. All right. So I'm actually going with Braden Mann. We had a kicker, so why not have a punter, right? All right, chat, put it down there. Who do you think we're going to land on for our 7th spin of the night? We've had 2 correct guesses so far. Oh, Belichick's deal is 5 years. All right. So a 5-year deal for Belichick. We'll see.
Who was the other correct guess besides Klecko?
Say again?
Who was the other correct guess besides Klecko?
Klecko and wasn't there one other one? I thought there was one.
No, I didn't get Hall. I picked Hall the first time.
Oh, that's right. There was one off. Yeah, that's right. I thought early on we did, but it was one off, so I just reacted.
Whenever you see Hall, you just assume I picked him.
I assume you pick him every time. Exactly.
Very noble.
Roger goes Greg Van Rotten. Rusty Spooner goes Pat Leahy. Okay.
I love that Rotten is still a thing.
And he's still starting in the league.
Yeah, another guy who's almost Pro Bowl level.
Coaching.
Yep.
That's simple. I mean, we always knew that players could make a coach look bad. I never knew until this year how bad a coach could make a GM look.
Yeah.
That's something I learned this year.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
While you're waiting for people to put their projections in, how many Coach of the Year awards does Robert Saleh win, and how many Executive of the Years does Joe Douglas win in the future?
Oh boy! Did they give out awards for a defensive coordinator of the year? Because if they did, I would say 2 or 3.
Nice.
Yeah, and JD, he's just going to go back into player personnel. I don't think he wants to be. He's excellent at scouting talent and all that kind of stuff, but with the Jets, you have to be that complete head of operations, and I don't think he's going to want that. So I don't know if he'll be a GM again, unless it's a very stable structure, put it that way. But I think he's just going to make them happy, and I think it's going to be like maybe the assistant GM, director of player personnel somewhere.
That's fair.
Okay, guys, let's spin for spot number 7 in 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on Brian Thomas. Okay.
It's a solid 7.
Very, very solid 7. Yeah, we drafted him instead of Ed Reed, but what are you going to do? I know Rex wanted Ed Reed, but, Thomas was here for what, 9 years, 10 years, something like that?
I think we drafted him in 2000.
2000, let's see, 2002.
And he was on both playoff teams.
He was here 11 years. 11 years, yeah. Yep. Played 157 games with the Jets. 33 and a half sacks. His career high for a season was 8.5. 40 quarterback hit. Well, they actually didn't start counting quarterback hits till 2006. So we had 40.
Yeah. And then they made them illegal in like 2009.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. 67 tackles for a loss. That's not bad. 6 forced fumbles. He was a fine, solid player is what he was. If 6 was open or something like that, and we can move John Hall to 7 and Brian Thomas to 6. Yeah, Rusty, I completely agree with what Rusty said, and I wasn't even looking at the chat. If I could put him at 6 and John Hall at 7, I would, but I can live with putting Brian Thomas at 7 in this situation.
Very underwhelming, right? For a guy with a first-round pick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the justification we can have.
Oh, here you go. I got it.
Go ahead.
Michael Clemens is the 5th-round picks. Was Brian Thomas is the 1st-round picks.
That's not terrible. I'm trying to remember Brian Thomas playing against the run. Now, different defensive systems sometimes. So 4-3-3-4. So you're asked to do some different things. But yeah, was Thomas anything of a run defender? I can't really recall that. I don't know. Oh, Nick dropped off again. Okay. Nick, I'll get you back.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
There you go. Now, do you remember Brian Thomas playing against the run? Because I just think of him as a pass rusher.
I thought he was more of a run D end than he was a pass rusher, right?
Well, I'm sure he would have been when he was drafted in the 1st round. I don't think they would draft him for his run defense, but I guess that's may have been more.
No, I don't mean projecting. I just think the way his career played, he was better.
Okay. All right. Well, Brian Thomas will be our number 7 spot. Okay. So all we have left, guys, are spots 2, 9, and 10 tonight. 3 spots left. Right now, I think we're doing okay. But we got to get somebody really, really good and 2 guys who really, really stink.
No, let's get 3 great guys and just make your head explode.
And just for that, I'm going to go mid. I'm going to go I want to go with mid as like, what's the epitome of a mid jet on this one?
Like 95.
Kelvin Beachum.
There's like 95 of them, dude. Take your choice.
Kelvin Beachum. That's where I'm going.
You have Connor McGovern on there?
I do not have him, but I can add him.
I don't know. Just thinking mid. Give me Jeff Cumberland.
Actually, because I don't put because I don't put current Jets on there, and
right.
he's only a former Jet as of 2 days ago. Yeah, he just became a former Jet again. Yeah, he's around like the express train in and out of here. All right. All right, I see Mangold. Okay. Chat, throw your guesses down in there for spin number 8. We are coming up on 2 hours, so appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. This has been a lot of fun. We got a wheel to finish off, and I want a winning wheel tonight. I really, really do. All right, I see Sione Puha.
Puha got you all in check.
That's it. Sharon goes Jim Turner. Did I even put Jim Turner on the wheel? I don't think I have Jim Turner on here, but that'd be pretty good if I did. Maybe I did after he passed away. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to go to spin number 8. We're going to spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1.
Who did I pick? Kenny O?
Kenny O'Brien. All right. Ken O'Brien. Well, yeah. This one is a tricky one. Because it's like you talk to 10 Jet fans, it's like 3 love him, 3 hate him, and 4 think he's decent. This is kind of a mid-Jet, sort of a mid-level too. I think a lot of it does have to do with the draft status, the fact that they drafted him over Dan Marino. But I hate that all our mid-round picks are gone. So all we have left. So Russ, all we have left are 2, 9, and 10. That's all we can do.
In the interest of wheel drama, I say
we could put him between Klecko and Ferguson, or we could put him below John Hall, Brian Thomas, and Robbie Anderson.
2, baby.
You want to go 2? I mean, yeah, I don't know how I could put him above Rickershaw and Victor Green, but if that's what we got to do. Chat, this is going to be your decision here.
2 makes more sense than 9.
Yeah, this is not easy. Rusty, we put Braylon Edwards at number 5. I'll recap the list. Number 1, Joe Klecko. Number 3, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 5, Braylon Edwards. Number 6, John Hall. Number 7, Brian Thomas. Number 8, Robbie Anderson. 2, 9, and 10 are blank. So that's all we can do. Unless we land on a stipulation that we haven't lost yet, but we might need to land on one of those little stipulation spots to redeem ourselves. It might take that. So, guys, but for right now, for Ken O'Brien, we got to go 2, 9, or 10. It is what it is. So, chat, let your voices be heard. Roger says Victor Green was a 9. Kenny O was a 4. What? Victor Green was not a 9. Wow. Raj, I love you, but I cannot agree with that at all. That's okay. Rusty, if we pick 2, then watch, we'll pick Mo Lewis next. Yeah. Good.
Well, Mo Lewis is a 10 in my book. Because he had 10 steps to let Drew Bledsoe go out of bounds, and he did it. I can't see you, but I know you're frustrated because I know how much you love Mo. Oh, you're not even replying to me. You're that pissed.
I'm good. I'm not a huge. No, it's like I respected Mo Lewis, but I didn't have a jersey or anything. Yeah, we all seem very, very divided on this. I think it's a situation where we just kind of go for it and kind of hope whatever we get, we wind up getting to delete this particular pick and get another chance. Yeah, Roger F. 9 and hope for remove spin. You know what? Roger. Yeah, Roger already voted. Got it. All right, I'm going. I feel like I almost have to break the tie. We've been doing so well that I think we're going to get one more really good Jet. I'm putting Ken O'Brien for right now at number 9 and hope somehow we can bust. I can't put him above the Brickashaw, Ferguson, and Victor Green. I can't do it.
All right.
Let's see what happened. I know that may not. It was if the chat was decisive one way or another, I'd go that way. But it's what?
All right.
Basically, it's Arizona divided right down the middle. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to spin number 9.
Oh, spin number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9 spot is open.
We'll pick this the last round where we'll pick.
Stephen Hill. We need a 9.
Hackenberg.
You know we need a 9. Give me Stephen Hill. Give me Derek Mason.
Oh, Derek Mason. Yeah, another one of our legends that we killed. Oh, I had him as number 3 on the legends we killed. 5 games as a Jet. It's amazing. And that's who we brought in to replace Jericho Cotchery.
Can I pick a stipulation?
You could, but if you do that, that's what we're doing anyway. Sure. Okay.
I will choose anyone who's ever played wide receiver for the Jets and the Titans. Does that give me
okay. All right, there we go. Spin number 9. I just want to get right to this one. That's what she said. In 3, that's what that whore who slept with 100 men yesterday probably said most of the day. Okay, in 3.
Why is she a whore if she planned it?
Yeah.
I think whores do it unplanned. I think she's a go-getter.
Well, at least she used to be. In 3.
Also, how did you not send me that fucking link?
I figured you wouldn't need me to send it to you. In 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Oh, Keyshawn Johnson. All right. Well, we land on Keyshawn quite frequently, I got to tell you. I think he's pretty much clearly got to be number 2 on this list, even though he was only a Jet for like 4 years.
Really? You're that clear cut putting him up there and not Kenny O?
Consider the only places we can put him are number 2 or number 10. I mean, can I put him below? This is a damn good list. I gotta tell you. But are we gonna have Robbie Anderson ahead of Keyshawn Johnson?
Oh man, Kenny O being below Keyshawn. I love it.
He was only a Jet for 4 years.
Let's just get nuts with the 10th pick instantly.
A Jet for 4 years, but had 4,100. He averaged over 1,000 yards per year as a Jet, averaged 8 touchdowns a year as well. 2 Pro Bowls. Obviously had that amazing game against Jacksonville.
All right. Let's do it.
Chad, I'm looking to see where would you want to put him at 2 or at 10?
You got to go 2.
I feel like I do. I feel like we do also.
Right. And let's get ready for a massive. Let's get ready for the wheel to drop a nuke on us for 10.
I mean, this is maybe top to bottom the best wheel we've had so far. It's right up there.
Nice.
All right.
Let's see. Hit it.
Okay, guys. This has been a very fun night, we must say. Nick has joined me. You have all joined me. We've been here for 2+ hours. We've had one of the most top-heavy wheels we have ever had. And now it comes to this. We are going to spin the wheel, possibly for the last time tonight, in 3, 2, 1, go.
I'd just like to say that I am a big fan of those that are top heavy.
And it's Bart Scott.
Oh, my buddy.
Yeah. Bart Scott, number 10.
He just promoted my channel a few weeks ago. I feel horrible that he's not 2.
Did he? Wow. Well, I got this is we did not have one single out and out bust on this wheel. We had great Jets. We had a lot of good Jets is really what we have here. Bart Scott to me was the character, but I always thought the character was more than the production. If it wasn't for Can't Wait, what would we really think of Bart Scott? And would he even have the jobs that he's had at WFAN and now on SNY, I wonder?
Yeah, he was a character. I think he would hit either way.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing. All right, guys. So
thank you for having me. I got to call my mother. She's texted me twice, and she never does that. Let me call Mom. Thanks for having me, pal.
You're welcome, Nick. You have a great night and have a great show later on.
Thanks, buddy. Talk soon.
All right. See ya. Okay, guys. So we're going to recap this list. Number 10, Bart Scott. Number 9, Ken O'Brien. Number 8, Robbie Anderson. Number 7, Brian Thomas. Number 6, John Hall. Number 5, Braylon Edwards. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 3, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Number 2, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 1, Joe Klecko. Well, I got to say, yeah, Ken O'Brien behind John Hall, Brian Thomas, Robbie Anderson. It's a good wheel. I can't quite say that it's in order 1 to 10. So, guys, tonight, I'm sorry. It hurts me to do this, but I cannot call that a win. I cannot call that wheel a win. But, yeah, for 1 to 10, I don't think we've done much better than that. All right, guys, I'll tell you what's coming up. Yeah, Roger, the only thing memorable of Bart Scott was Can't Wait. It's exactly true. Name the best play Bart Scott ever made with the Jets. I can't. I honestly, and I'm not knocking the man personally. I just can't remember. But would the team have gone as far as it did without him? I don't think so, because he helped establish Rex Ryan's system, and there is something to be said for that. Rusty, we got to take the wheel how we take it. But am I going to put him below Robbie Anderson? I can't. I can't do that. So, guys, here's what's coming up. Tomorrow, my confidence picks will be out, where we rank every game from 16 to 1 with most confidence. down to the least confidence. So watch for that tomorrow. And then by Friday, there'll be the 2 Jet-Jaguar videos, the full game preview, as well as the 5 bowl predictions and score prediction. And I will tell you this. I think the Jets are winning the game. I'm feeling very optimistic from that perspective that they are going to put up a lot of points in Duval County. But everybody, I want you to have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Again, please share the channel with a friend. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. I love doing the show with you every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. I'll be back with you next Wednesday, December 18th. So everybody be well, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Have a good night, everybody.